That is Aurora in the studio of The Current playing the new song, Animal. Aurora, welcome to St. Paul, Minnesota.
Thank you.
Can you introduce the folks who are playing with you today?
Yes, of course. On the cajon and also the bass backing vocals, we have Magnus, Mr. Magnus. And on the guitar and middle backing vocals, I don't know, yes, we have Fredrik, also called Mr. F. And then on the beautiful cloudy heaven vocals, we have Silja. And also later, she'll be playing the guitar.
Mr. F, is that an Arrested Development reference?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. The way that they're able to set up that joke over like 3 or 4 episodes, it's really impressive. And
It's really nice.
It's almost like it was built for Netflix, but it was still in the era of network TV. Mm-hmm. How do you think that the show has held up over the years?
I really like the humor. I think it's really funny. I really like the mother. She's my hero.
She always has the right thing to say at any given moment, right?
I really love her. Except for that she wears fur and treats everyone very horrible. I really like her.
Yeah, except for
anyway.
that, she's great.
Except for that, she's a wonderful person.
Anyway, I could sit and talk about Arrested Development all day, but we should probably get into the music. Good to have you back in town. And that new song that you played, Animal, now that's not on the record that came out last fall. That's a relatively brand newish one. What are the plans for the release of presumably part 2 of your project?
It is closer than you think, but more distant than you hope, I would say. It will be out before the heat comes.
So was it your plan from the beginning to split them into 2, or was it just something that came as you went along?
Well, first I wanted to split it into 3, and then I decided that I'm going to make one album, and then one more later that is connected. But I didn't know that it would happen so fast. I kind of realized that, you know, with time, with a lot of thinking, I did realize that I have been writing about 2 very different parts, but of the same process, I would say. So it makes very much sense spiritually and musically to split it into 2 parts.
So does that allow you to keep your sets fresh over the months as you are out on tour, as you gradually are able to work these songs in from part 2, or have they always been part of your live set from the beginning?
Many of them are very new. The next song we are gonna sing, I wrote originally for my first album. In my fairy tale world, I thought it would make it like 2 weeks before release. But then they said, no, it's way too late. You're about 3 months too late to put in a new song on the album. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put it on the next one. So I have one old song and the rest of the songs are new. But of course, many of them contain old ideas.
So the song that you're going to play in a few minutes, Churchyard. It has a lot of sentiments that feel really suited to the moment that we're in now. And as you're saying that you wrote it a couple of years back, did you allow the song then to evolve in the couple of years that it took to record it, or is it more or less as you wrote it a couple of years back?
It is exactly as I wrote it a couple of years back. I added some new things to the production because it was very electronical, so I mixed in a few organical things to it to make it fit more into the world of Step 1. But the song is exactly how it was meant to be.
And yet it's a song that really fits in, it seems like, the zeitgeist of where we're at now. So we would love to have you play it now. Can you play Churchyard for us?
Yes, we can.
It is Aurora in the studio of The Current.
He told me I belong in a churchyard. He told me I could walk away, but I wouldn't get far. Tell me, how do people know what is hurt, what is love? Oh, he told me I belong in a churchyard. Words pointy like arrows, wounds no one can see. He closed all the windows as his anger broke free. I will not remember you as somebody nice. Please, will you remember me and cry? told me I could walk away, but I wouldn't get far. He told me, how do people know what is hurt, what is love? He told me I belong in a churchyard. Follow him gently. Black seeds in his heart. Roots tearing the love in him apart. He told me I belong in a churchyard. He told me I could walk away, but I wouldn't get far. Tell me, how do people know what is hurt, what is love? He told me I belong in a churchyard.
It is Aurora in the studio of The Current and the song Churchyard from Infections of a Different Kind, Part 1. So one of the privileges that we have here at The Current is we can welcome artists from around the world to The Current studio. And I'm not sure I've ever chatted to folks from Norway before. So I'm curious about the music community in Norway, whether it is a collaborative music community or whether you have to develop your own music in a more insular way.
Well, it is a very good place to become a musician or a producer or an artist, because I think almost like 40% of Bergen is. I didn't really know many people before I became a musician, but now I know a lot of people, and they're all doing music in some way. So it's a very artistic community, especially in Bergen, and we're all very close. We all know each other and support each other. I guess Bergen is quite indie. There's a lot of indie music coming out from Bergen. But it's very, I don't know, it's a very good community, isn't it? You're very lucky.
Is it an equivalent like being in America where you kind of feel a compulsion that in order to succeed, you need to move to LA or move to New York? Is there a compulsion like, well, if you really want to make it in Norway, you have to move to Oslo? Or are you able to succeed on Bergen terms?
Many people actually go to Bergen because it doesn't really work out that much in Oslo. It's a different sound in a different environment. So many people actually go to Bergen. You feel very, or I hope that you feel very welcome, there by all the people. And you will definitely meet a person at the bar, and he or she could definitely help you or put you in contact with someone who does music. It's easy to find someone to kind of hold your hand on your way up.
So the last time that we as a radio station were able to chat with you was at the Iceland Airwaves Festival last fall. Is working in Iceland, is it a similar vibe, or is it different, or is it just another stop? Like in America, we might think, well, Norway and Iceland, they must be so close to each other. I guess I'm just curious what terms you think of Iceland in relation to Norway.
I feel like it's very connected to Norway. Often when you meet heavy metal fans, they're extremely nice. I don't know why, but it's just how it is almost worldwide. And in the music business, you do find quite many heavy metal fans, both in Iceland and in Norway, which makes me feel very at home. I often meet these kind of people working behind the scenes at, festivals and shows, and they're often very, very, very nice. I think Icelandic people are the same down to earth as Norwegian people. I don't know. I do feel very at home in Iceland, but it's definitely a different thing because they're so isolated. It's a bit more preserved, I would guess, if that makes sense at all.
Indeed. We are in the current studio with Aurora and with more new music on the way later in the year. I want to chat about another project which you've lent your talents to. You worked with Disney on the remake of the Dumbo soundtrack, working on Baby Mine. Was that a song that you grew up with, or was it one that you knew for a while?
I really enjoyed Dumbo when I was a little infant, but I don't really know if the song itself imprinted itself on me as much as the movie did. But I kind of rediscovered the beauty of the song when I was asked very secretively to make a demo of it.
It seems like what Disney is all about lately with their projects, whether it's new stuff or whether it's remakes, they're very, very secretive. Can you give us any more peek behind the curtain of what the secrecy was like? Were you allowed to tell any of your friends or family that you were working on this project for Disney?
No. But I didn't even know myself. They just said, can you record a version of Baby Mine? I did kind of put the very obvious pieces together, and I realized that it might be for the new Dumbo song, which I also knew that Disney was supposed to make, but they didn't tell me which movie it was from. I just got a mail that asked me to do a tender version of Baby Mine. So it's very secretive. It always is. Disney is kind of magical, isn't it?
It is. It's tough to explain to like even our friends that have not been to Disney World about when you go there how magical it really is. You have to find a time to go.
But I don't really like being in a restricted area with many people.
Well, there are many people, but at the same time, they are able to structure it so that there is so much room that when you're in one area, you forget that the other areas are even there, and you're able to lose yourself in whichever kingdom you want. You could spend the whole day in one area as opposed to the other. So it is a magical
experience. So you don't feel like you're
experience.
slowly being suffocated?
That's what you would think, but they make it worth your while, for sure.
Okay.
Find some time to do the Dumbo exhibit.
I
when
could
you're there.
wear one of those beehive, those bee people who work with bees, those suits. I could wear those and just go to Disneyland one time.
Well,
one
then
day.
people would come up to you asking for an autograph, assuming that you're dressed as a character from one of the
From
films.
the bee movie.
There you go. Aurora has got it all worked out for the eventual trip to Disney World, so keep an eye out if you're headed to the Magic Kingdom in the months to come. Thank you again, Aurora, for stopping by the current studio today. I want to give a thanks to our engineer Cameron Wiley, producer Derek Stevens, photographer Minju Kim, and thanks to the Charles H. Clay Charitable Trust for its support of the Currents in-studio sessions. You're going to play one more for us. What are you going to play?
We're going to play a very sad love song that is from Infections of a Different Kind, Step 1. It's called It Happened Quiet. It's a very devastating love story.
Well, there we have it. Everyone listen carefully to It Happened Quiet from Aurora in the studio of the Current.
Ice blue and hollow as it rains against their will, feathers falling out of a pillow, as if time is standing still, and I can't remember much more, but I know it happened quiet, so quiet. Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Oh, love is wild. You fell apart like a stone can be broken
a crying land, and you can't remember that day, but you know it happened quiet, so quiet. Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth, call it red, as I land like a flower on the meadow. Oh, love is wild. Our dreams, as dead as they seem. Our dreams, as dead as they seem. Don't you speak over my voice. I will return from the shadows, and I bleed in your head. Turn it red like the ground outside your window.